friends, Linda here from my fantasy homestead. I don't know how this goes anymore. We are in my new house and today I'm just gonna show you outside how it looks like and what's out here instead of in the houses. And it is big. I have already started clearing out the courtyard here. I have sewage people coming in and they will reline the pipes underneath, because at the moment I can't go to the toilet here because there's roots in the pipes, and so everything will back up and no one wants to see that when they are redoing the pipes, right? Welcome to my garage. That is gonna become a garage, and I think this doorway will become the doorway that goes through to the garden. I'll show you garden in a second. Is lovely stable. That was a stable. 3 stables basically together. And the roof is completely damaged. I'm not gonna show you the cars, but there's the main house. And that is the carport that we basically have. Let's go in. As I said, I have started clearing up here. It was grown up to here. You can kind of see where the moss was coming up to. And the previous owners have put tarmac on it. Not very good quality, but I think that there is some slate or some kind of, maybe there's indication that there is tiles underneath here. Maybe it's just concrete and then the tarmac on top, but as you can see, the roots are growing in between the layers, so I might need to take this off and see what's underneath there. But that's not going to be a work for this time. This one was a pain. Oh look, it's fallen off again. But it was filled with glass completely from this broken window, and then I cleaned it up. There's actual water in there, if you can see. So maybe the drainage is not that bad. I have lovely patio. I still need to clean all of this up, and there's more glass because more of the windows were smashed. As you can see here, there's glass everywhere. I think because this triangle has been lined with plastic, that it might have been like a wildlife pond or such an area, but at the moment it's just bricks and rubble. Lovely window, a lovely roof. It's just so much to do in here. I do love the columns though that are supporting this. As you can see, very old. I don't know if they're originals. I think they're either concrete or metal, and then it supports a massive beam here. I will need to replace this roof because it is broken and it's not covering very well, but the joists look okay, thankfully, for now. That one looks very green. Wow. It's because the water flows in, and I think that's algae growing on it, as you can see. Probably. I started my compost pile here, but I will need to move it, and I think I'll move it to the garage that I showed you just before. That's the door to the kitchen, to the main house. Oh, look at the camera going like woo, woo, woo. And that's one of the canalization holes there, manholes. I don't know what to do with these. I think the previous owners collected sinks for planting, I think. This one has a lot of like concrete on the sides. This one's completely cracked in half. This one's okay-ish, but I mean it's missing a chunk. And this one, I think, is the best of them all at the moment. But then there's cracks there as well. I don't know what's underneath here. Could be cobblestone or just like dirt, hard packed dirt, but these are the windows that were smashed out of our conservatory. and this would be the workshop with the roof that's been collapsed because of the ivy. As you can see, it's the same roof as it was the other side, and there was lots of slate here, but the previous owner started putting them in a bag. I don't know why. It could have collapsed due to this. It's actually not collapsed. It's just that there's a lot of wood here. I think there's birds here as well. I will need to take this ivy out. Okay. There is something living there and moving around. So we shall leave. I have one massive, this thing. I think it's like the one that I have, just lots older, and it's an actual tree. It looks like it's growing here. That will stay. I have found 2 flower beds in front of the cottage, and I think that there's another flower bed here. I know you cannot really see, but you can see there. Do you see it? Do you see it? Do you see? That's the edge of it. And I think it's been bricked up. It's a bit higher. So that seed is actually sitting in the flower bed. Maybe there's steps there. Who knows? Maybe there isn't. There's a daylily there growing, and a chimney that has been used as a flower pot, which has bramble in it at the moment. And it's just lots of bits here. I want to tidy this all up. I have put stakes in where daffodils were blooming, as you can see, so that when they go to sleep I can dig them out, and then the sticks are everywhere in the grass. And then this tree, which is weird, because I think that's a washing line, and I think it went just down there. There is a pulley system there on the opposite side that basically, I think the line was coming this way to the tree, but it's grown into the tree now and I can't pull it out. I will probably need to cut it off because look, look how it's made a dent into the tree. I will need to do this quite soon because otherwise it will grow in. Good tree. Very close to the wall, actually. Very close to the wall, but not as close as that tree there, because that is even closer, and that's even worse. I moved ivy off a little bit here, so this red wall has a really pretty slate roof put on over it, and I love it. So ivy is gonna come off. I am so sorry, but nothing nesting here because there's just not enough ivy here to nest in at the moment. They're probably nesting up there though, on top of the roof. I need to tidy this flower bed as well, but these flowers are very popular with the bumblebees at the moment, so I might wait for them to finish blooming. I did a digging test underneath here. All around here is the pavement, all of it, all the way up here. I went with the pitchfork and I did like a little test, as you can see here as well. So there's the tarmac. I know it's hard to see at the moment because it's under so much soil, but there's the tarmac, and then there is the slate or concrete blocks that have been cracked or something, or they are cobblestones, I don't know, but they look older. Like this is older, then this has been put on top of it, and that is a building that is on the plans for this property but is not here anymore. So I think it's original because this is how the stables start, with the black line of bricks and then the bricked red floors, and as you can see the roof sliding off of this one, and I really need to fix it and put a new roof on, but it has potential, and I have 2 more, one there and one there, like this, with a slacking roof. yeah, I think there's been animals here because the pens are here. So I showed you the black bricks just because as I was walking there is line of black bricks here, and then there is a floor of red bricks underneath all of this, and it goes approximately up to there. That's where it stops. So I went with the pitchfork and it's up to that wall there where these bricks are left over. As you can see, this is my wall. It's like sitting like that, if you can see, and this tree is pushing it away. And I think that this building that was here probably was taken down due to that tree pushing in and potentially damaging the foundations. As you can see that the wall is at an angle. I will need to do something about this. A tree surgeon probably, or something. It's a lovely tree. It's a maple, and it's just pushed like really nice leaves out, and I don't want it to go away. If you know what I mean, you know. But I mean that branch is kind of on top of the stable, so maybe that one might need to come off. But I will consult with someone who knows more than me. So, by the way, we're still walking on. There's something underneath here, something hard, like tiles or something, or brick. Up to there, past the tree. The daffodils have been planted on it as well. So, I don't know. I could understand why they're not blooming if they've been planted in about 5 centimeters of soil. This looks like an old greenhouse with the stable roof that's slipping on top of it, and it's basically squished it a little bit. Ow, just got stung by a nettle. Ow, ow, ow. This is gonna be a project and a half. I don't know if you can see it, but there's tires, there's propane tanks in here, there's everything and then some. But I wanted to make this as a chicken run. Just keep the same distance, keep the same like layout. I mean, it is about 10 meters by 3 meters and it's lovely, but in the same time it needs some love and care, and it's slipping down. Yeah, I am super excited about all of this because the garden is enclosed with these mature fir trees, well, pine trees, evergreen trees? Yeah, evergreen trees, except for this rhododendron. I might need to chop that a little bit off because I think it is eating into the trees and not allowing them to grow that well. But coming from a place where it was very, very windy in the garden, this looks like basically a paradise. Massive trees from the side, hedgerow there, and then my stables. And then if I rebuild what was there before, I want it to be a chicken coop. Maybe, you know, wink wink, nudge nudge. The soil is really, really nice here. As you can see, there's clump grass everywhere. Lots of it. And it just lives around the middle. Around the edges, it looks like it's different, as if this has been a proper garden. I did a test. I came with a pitchfork and I tried to dig it up, the clump grass. I dug up one this morning. It literally just dropped all of its soil. Look, there's nothing much left at all. And then the soil is the best soil I have ever seen. Seriously. I mean, look at that sandy loamy. This has been a garden for many, many years. It's so black. It's so rich. And you can see little sand specks in it as well, so the drainage will be really good. I was thinking that I will not be able to have a garden this year because well, I haven't prepared soil. We got in here in the start of April, late March. But as you can see, all of these clumps, if I can dig them up, the same ease as this, which was literally like 10 seconds, and then just shook it out, that goes into the compost. This one stays there. I can even it out and I can have beds in situ. I might not put in like raised beds even. I'll just have something growing here, like beans or something like that, peas, anything that grows fast and can grow anytime, basically. My little sticks with my daffodils everywhere marked. That is a table for the previous owner who's passed away, so that's gonna stay. There is a concrete plate underneath, like massive slabs, so I just need to clear it off and get the moss off and see if the table is still... The table probably is still okay, but if the chair and the little nookie thing is still sittable on. Let's go to the other side of the garden. It's quite big. You can kind of see the difference. So here it's different grasses, and then here it's just the clump grass. See? There is the division here. As if that was the garden. It was always arable, and this was just left for something else. Just loving the evergreens. They are just so pretty. These are gonna stay, all of them. Ah, oh, just so pretty. Bit of a nettle paradise. There were snowdrops growing here in the spring when we came to see this place. And that's my neighbor's field. Where the fence is, that's my boundary. And it just keeps going around. All of the trees are mine. It's getting harder and harder to walk through here because of the stinging nettles. They used to be very small and I could just like stomp through them. But now it's been a couple of weeks and they have just stretched out so far. There's like a wildlife nook. There's more trees. It's a massive one in the corner here. I have plans that if this is shaded during the summer, which it probably will, I'm gonna put some wood down here and potentially grow some mushrooms. But yeah, if we go all the way here to the edge of the property, and then we look back, this could be like a perfect place to grow mushrooms on, you know, underneath these massive shaded trees. I think that's ivy, I don't know. It's big up there, it's dark, it's gloomy here. I do live next to a really busy road. If you can see, there's the road straight away. I need to tidy all of this up and see if I can put maybe like elderberry plant here to plug the gap. And as you can see, everywhere is ivy. Ivy is growing here everywhere. And brambles. And I think that is an old fire pit. You know, like when you burn stuff, but it hasn't been burnt because there's all kinds of rubbish there and wood are picked in a little bit. I don't really want to go in there deep because before I do anything I would dismantle it just to see if there's hedgehogs living there or anything else like that. And then there's bramble and more brambles. And more brambles. They're literally trying to take over everywhere. They're tiny and small, but this is gonna look really, really good. I don't know what this is. It's either a wild plum or a cherry. If you know, please let me know. But it's blooming, and I think that is a bramble next to it. And that is a maple that will need to come out, unfortunately, because it's growing so close to the road, and if it grows as big as its mum down there, then half of my garden will be shaded, probably up to like there, and I can't lose that much space. It's just, my garden is like 0.3 acres. Well, the property is 0.3 acres, so my garden is smaller. Then we are at the back of the garage and the greenhouse again. There's massive pile of bricks in here and bramble and everything else that oh, I don't even know what's going on here. But as you can see, it's a blackbird that's nesting there. Okay, that ivy can't come off the roof until August because I do not want to kill baby birds. But I could potentially tidy up here a little bit. All of this bramble will need to come out, and I will need to mulch it down because bramble just grows the same as ivy. Ow, ow, ow. As you can see, we're at the opposite side of the greenhouse. It's all fallen in the roof. There is another maple that's growing. Unfortunately, it will need to come out. Isn't that pretty? This is awesome. This is like the best place ever. It's gonna be so calm and no wind in here because it's all protected from all of the sides. Eventually I want the door here, and we are inside of the garage. It looks like it was rebuilt. Like there's lintels, like those look new. Those don't look like original walls. They have poured lots of concrete in here. If you see the level there versus level there, it's about 30 centimeters higher. This roof is okay. It's new. It has a bit of a nest, one nest there. I expect animals will move in, birds and stuff, because if you live around the house, they move in. And then I want the door here so that this could be like a straight tunnel into the garden, potentially. This has been open and like this for many years for the brambles to grow like this over the bricks. And it's just sitting on a promise on these two poles. So this is the concreted area. The ivy is coming in through the roof as normal, but you saw the blackbird outside, so that's nesting in there probably. I'm not gonna do anything here except sweep this. Do you see? Do you see how deep it is? It's 3 steps deep. Because the door is identical to the door in the stables. But how much concrete have they poured out? Like in the layer alone there. And then that's an extra step that the door is sitting against. Yeah, I don't know what's going on here. I'll sweep this because there's glass in these leaves everywhere. And then I'm gonna start a compost pile here. Because if I'm composting ivy, even if I grind it in small chunks with my wood chipper, my little wood chipper, then even then it's trying to grow. That is the darkest place in this property. That's outside. And look, it's so old that it has cobblestones here. Isn't that lovely? We started to take the kitchen out because it has mold and it's literally growing mushrooms. And as I was saying, I wanted elderflower, but of course you don't get elderflower where you want it to. You get elderflower where you don't want it to grow, straight at the entrance of, I think, is it so close to the, it's basically growing into the foundations. Maybe I can dig it up, see if it works. Because if I could dig it up and just replant it in that place, then it would be amazing. And then we are at the front of the property. You can see where the moss was. Wow, like a line. These are such gorgeous borders, and you can tell that these are from the same time that the back wall border was put in, because the bricks are the same and they cemented in. They have a foundation actually underneath, which is awesome. And we are back. Okay, we are done and dusted. This is basically the layout of my future, well, my current property. This is my fantasy homestead. And actually this is such a massive project. I love it so much, but there's so much work to do. I'll be busy for the next 20 years, which is amazing because I need something to do. And there's so much to garden. Oh yes, so much to do. Thank you very much for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye friends.